Hello everyone and welcome to my final video with Cara in this series. Slight sob, sad to be finishing up, but we're ending on a good one. So we've got some questions that have been sent in from everybody, so we're going to try and answer them today.
Great.
Yeah, fab. I actually want to start with one from me. Well, kind of from me, but kind of basically when I do some interior design projects, some clients say to me, I just really hate this colour. So they'll say, I hate the colour yellow, I can never use it anywhere. And it's it's an issue for them in their colour choices. And for me, I have an issue with the colour lime green, and I really struggle to unpick why. And I just wondered if you'd have any advice on people moving on from these colour issues.
Yeah, so it's not uncommon, if that's the right word to use, that we have colour blocks. Even designers, everyone has colour blocks. It's actually one of the first things that I get designers to start to look at, because when they understand their own choices around colour, then they understand their clients.
Yep.
And interesting, because you love green.
I do.
You love green.
Yeah.
So we can either not like a specific colour, I can never say that word, specific colour.
Specific.
or the whole lot.
Right.
But for you love green, but you just don't like lime green. Now, as much as I get people ask me things like this all the time, as much as I would love to be Mystic Meg, I obviously don't have a crystal ball and I can't see why.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what I do is I ask questions, because what I love for the client to do is to be able to uncover this for themselves, because quite often it becomes quite a big realisation. Now, there's three ways that we relate to colour. One is a personal association. So something could have happened to you personally, some point in your life, that there was an event where there was lime green and you've forgotten the event, but you've remembered the colour. And then quite often what happens is we make the colour wrong. And this can happen on a positive or a negative way.
Yeah.
The second way we relate to colour is colour and culture. So colour has a cultural significance.
Yes.
You know, so red is good luck in China and green is good luck in Ireland. So there could also be a reason around that. And the other thing is, but the way that the colour makes you feel psychologically. So there will be a reason in one of those three, or perhaps a mix of two, that why you don't like lime green.
Amazing.
So when we look at lime green as a colour, it has a lot of yellow in it.
Yeah.
And yellow is the psychological primary of the emotions, and it's very, very stimulating. So it stimulates the emotions. And a lot of people feel very, very irritated around yellow. And yellow is probably one of those colours that is the most, people absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Or they completely, really, really hate it. And if we really hate yellow, we normally find it very, very irritating and
overstimulating.
Yeah, overstimulating of the emotions.
Right.
And so therefore we become very, very overwhelmed.
Yeah. So we have a question from Helen. She's asking, if you use multiple colours within a room, can it essentially give you mixed feelings?
So what we're doing, so in video 3 or video 4, when we did the colour harmonies.
3, yeah.
Video 3. So if she goes back and listens to that, when we see palettes of colours together that harmonise and work together, we never get a response of a colour in isolation. We are always taking in what is happening at that time.
Yeah.
And it's that mix. It's the mix of colours. So what's really important then is to look at the proportion of colours that he used and the placement. And it's this mix together that creates the responses and the behaviours. It's also the lightness of the colour, so whether it's soothing or whether it's very intense. So it's this whole mix. It's like, I always say it's like musical notes.
Yep.
So are we going to be sitting and listening to the cymbals crashing and banging the whole time, because that's really intense? Or do we have light and shade, and do we have this lovely musicality?
Oh, that's a nice way of putting it.
That gives us the feelings that we want to feel in that space.
So question from Kirsty, can a single colour do different things to people as they go through their life?
So do different things. We can have different reactions and different responses. From what I can't not remember now which video I said this in, but about the 3 ways we relate to colour.
Yeah, I think it was 3.
So just for instance, pink.
Yeah.
Let's use that as an example. So little girls typically love pink. And that's because what they're connecting to is the positive emotions or the psychological emotions of pink, which is about caring and nurturing and the comfort and the hugs of a parent. It's that nurturing love.
Yeah.
Now, as a woman gets older, we can go through a phase that we actually reject everything to do with pink because we're worried that we'll become across as girly and weak and needy.
Yeah.
And they are the adverse side of pink. So as a little girl, we're picking up the positive. And as we're getting older, we could go through and then pick up the adverse.
That's just sort of cultural associations, isn't it? And the way we're taught to feel about.
Yes. So there's cultural in there because we have been taught that pink is a girl's colour, and it is not. That's a myth, a complete myth, because little boys love pink just as much as girls. But when we're told or we have this belief that pink is wrong because we might be seen not as, we won't be taken seriously. People think that we're some little silly girl.
Yeah.
We straight away now are picking up on the adverse side.
Yeah.
And then as we get older, it could be that, like right now, we are going through another, like the last couple of years, a sort of a pink renaissance.
Yeah, we really are.
And women are knowing that it's okay to have what we really do call this soft power, that we can be feminine, we can still be strong and not make the colour pink wrong. So a lot more women are moving away from red and wearing red power suits to more into, it's not a power suit.
It's not a power suit,
No.
it's fine.
And wearing a lot more pink.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
just owning it a bit more.
And reconciling with it and knowing that it's okay. So how we think about ourselves, what's going on in society, how we feel about others, what we're worried about, what other people think, this can all make a judgment or influence on our colour decisions.
Definitely. So question from Aliana is, what is a good colour for uplifting and healing?
Right. So the reason why I love these kind of questions is because I can bust a few myths. When it comes to colour psychology and what I specialise in, colour doesn't heal. Colour healing is a very, very different modality. That's something that I don't do. It's a different area of specialty. I'm very much is about influencing behaviour to create a positive outcome. So that's really what I'm into with colour psychology.
Absolutely.
And so we don't set out to heal. Now, what is uplifting? A colour that's uplifting to one person will not be to the other. So it's about looking at what uplifting means to you. And what would that look like in your space? What would you be doing to know that you felt uplifted?
So you're talking about the behaviours there. How are you actually reacting in your space in a physical...
Because you can't see a mood and you can't see a feeling, but you can see how someone reacts, responds, how they behave. So if you think about what does uplifting mean, how would you be feeling? And what would that look like in your space? What would you be doing? And then you pick colours, like a combination of colours that creates that for you. And that's how it becomes personal to you.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Great answer. Thank you.
There's no one size fits all.
Of course.
This is what...
It's your personal reaction. This is the ongoing thread across this whole conversation, really, isn't it? Yeah. So next question is from Annie, and she's asking, do dark walls like dark green, aubergines, etc. make people feel sombre?
Only if it makes you feel sombre.
Right. I knew you were going to say that.
Because for some people, if those colours, especially if it's an aubergine, now this is a warm purple and this sits in the autumnal palette.
Yeah.
For some people, if they're an autumnal woman or a man and this is their primary personality, they will feel very connected to themselves and very centered. There is a grounding because purples are the colours positively that is about introspection. It's about self-reflection. It's this quiet time to connect to your higher self. It's not in my colour palette, and as much as I love aubergine, if I was in a room with a lot of aubergine, it would end up being too heavy for me.
Sure.
And that might be the sombre that she's talking about.
Yes.
But it's about picking the colours. And it's also really, I would ask them, what does sombre mean? Does sombre mean, is that a positive, because you can have, is that positive or is that an adverse feeling? But, so it's really, yes, to get clarity on what a word means, because all we can ever do is make it mean what we think it means, not actually what sombre means for somebody else. So it's always getting that clarity of what that word is.
Absolutely. That's great. And you also talked in one of our previous videos about scale as well. So it might be that using that in a large proportion in a room would be too overwhelming for you, but maybe scaling it down could actually work
and for other
you.
people it wouldn't.
Yeah,
for other
exactly,
people, being cocooned in this might be
Yeah.
just what they need, but they might find...
I'd love an aubergine room.
in a month or 6 months' time, if they then begin to feel overwhelmed and feel it's because the proportion of the colour...
It's too strong, too much.
Too much. That is if they know from the start that that is the right tone for them.
So next question from Hannah is, have you studied colourblindness and the effect it can have on emotions?
Right, so that I haven't. Now, the wonderful thing about colour is that there are many different areas and everybody, it's like an inch wide and a mile deep. So everyone stays in their own lane, so to speak, and because it takes a lifetime just to even learn what, like for me, colour psychology, that's going to be the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I don't specialise at all in colour blindness. I have a good overall understanding, but really the woman who specialises in colour blindness is a lady called Catherine Albany Ward, and she has a website that is colourblindnessawareness.org. But what is really interesting, there are people that are doing studies on people who are blind, and they are able to sense colour, so they can feel colour.
That's amazing.
And that's a whole different area of study, and I find that super amazing. And I have done some tests myself where I've been blindfolded and I've been able to sense colours as well. We can all do it. It's just,
I'm gonna have to try that now.
It's just being very tuned in.
Right.
And it's not that we necessarily, sometimes we can feel warmth or cool.
Yeah.
But it's also a sensation that we get that we can also feel it and we express it in words. And then when we look at the colour, we think, oh gosh, I was actually explaining the colour.
Okay, so next question. So a couple of people messaged in. I think Charlotte and Emma were talking about insomnia and sleep issues, and if there are any colours that can help with sleep issues, basically. Is there any advice you have on that?
Yes, so colour is just one of the things, because we're looking at air quality, we're looking at noise level. Are there blue lights in the bedroom? Because blue light is the colour is what wakes up the mind. Are we looking at screens before we're going to bed? Is there a break, but an hour and a half, 2 hours before we go to bed? Because what you're wanting to do is to calm the mind, and these cold blue lights. So there's a whole lot of factors.
Sure.
Also, have they had sugar before they've gone to bed? Especially
I know that one.
Yeah, so it's not. The question really is about what colours do I take out and what colours do I make sure I don't put into a child's bedroom.
Sure.
Then the colours that are soothing is what you're looking at. You're looking colours that are mentally soothing.
Sure.
Because you want to soothe the mind, but you also want to soothe the body. So blues are the colour of the mind. Now, the darker blues and the stronger blues and the turquoise are all stimulating. The softer blues, so light blues, these very soft, warm blues, soothe the mind.
That's a good tip.
That's a good thing. You'll want to avoid yellow in the bedroom and even in hotels, they don't put yellow in the bedrooms because they do not want to have guests that wake up irritated.
That's true. I've never seen yellow in a hotel room.
There is one brand that is now beginning to use yellow in the bedrooms because it's in their branding. But it's a big, that to me is
you
a
wouldn't
big
do
mistake.
that.
No. And I don't often say colour really is a mistake, but that is
interesting.
Just because it's in the branding.
Yeah.
It is, because even when we've got our eyes closed, we are still taking in and we're still stimulated by the colours that are around us. Greens are the holistic whole, so that's soothing, rejuvenating the holistic whole, but not lime greens, not bright greens. You're wanting more soft, soothing
Softer,
greens.
soothing tones.
Yeah.
Amazing. Fab, well, that's it. That's all our questions.
Oh.
That's it, the end of our lovely 4 videos.
It's been fantastic.
What am I going to do now? No one to talk to on my couch anymore.
I would happily come back.
Oh, good. Well, you'll have to. We'll have to. We'll have to go more of a deep dive maybe one day because it's it's an endless subject.
It is.
And, well, your book has got loads to delve into as well, so everyone will have to have a look at that. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for following this little series. Do let us know how you've been feeling about it. Any comments, I'd love to hear them also. Send them on over. And thank you very much. Thanks, Karen.
Bye.